Here we go. What's up, everybody? We're back again, and this is special. This is the trifecta, the three amigos, the Dad Bod golf pod. You got Kyle, you got Ben, and you got Nate. We're all three together. We're ready to rock and roll. What's up, fellas?
What's up, man?
Ben and I have still not met in person. This is the closest we've come here on this Zoom meeting, so this is exciting.
Are we blaming COVID?
COVID and appendixes.
We're blaming your appendix that tried to murder you, or else this would already happen.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah.
Your appendix gave me an opportunity, though. I'm not gonna lie, Ben.
Next man up, right?
Yeah. No
it's
man
like
left
Drew
behind.
Brees went down and Tom Brady stepped in, man. Goodness gracious.
If I'm Tom Brady in this situation, that might be the best compliment you could ever pay me. Wow.
That's great.
Or Drew Bledsoe. That's what it was when Bledsoe went down
Bledsoe.
and Tom Brady. Next thing you know, the rest is history. So, hey, before we get started, I got a bone to pick with both of you.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I wasn't able to be a part of the movie conversation, which God knows somebody needed to be a part of it because the takes that I saw were horrendous. I'm going to start with Nate, and I'm going to be easy on Nate. And the reason being is because number one, he went first, but number two, he started out and he let everybody know I'm not an Adam Sandler fan. So I feel he unfairly got stuck with Happy Gilmore because if you're not an Adam Sandler fan, you're not going to like any Adam Sandler movie because they're all done the same. So he got stuck behind the 8 ball right away. Kyle, you have no excuse. And so, but
I said I hate Rodney Dangerfield.
I know, which was awful. What an awful take. He's like the star of the movie. And so
not funny at all.
Nate started off first off, I got a big kick out of it because I know. And then you mentioned Mitch Hedberg, and I was like, are you kidding me? What is he doing? He's like doubling down. He's saying that one guy's not funny and he's throwing out another guy that's not funny. And so anyway, I'll get to you in a second. You wait your turn.
Shots fired.
And so Nate started out and he was breaking it down like it was a professional movie. And I'm like, bro, this is Happy Gilmore. Like, don't overthink it. This is you were really into like the cinematography, and you were talking about the stuff that didn't make sense. Man, they got like a live penguin floating around. Like, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. You know, and it's all satire. Of course, as I said, I took notes, by the way. Like I wrote all this
satire,
stuff down.
like Caddyshack's not the whole movie.
No, not at all. I told you, everybody belongs in that club. Like that, everybody, there's somebody in that club, in every club across America. There's a Judge Smalls, there's a preacher that cusses in the locker room and makes off-color jokes, and then all of a sudden he's in the pulpit on Sunday. Not necessarily a preacher, but it could be anybody. It could be some. I did. I heard that. I appreciate that. I appreciate getting some love that I wasn't there. And then the fact that Nate passed, and you had to remind him of it on the Bob Barker moment. That's like they've even redone a commercial. That scene was so iconic.
I just could not get past the fact that Adam Sandler just looks like he's just. I mean, I know it's satire. I know it's slapstick, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And the Price is Right, bitch line at the end is iconic. Will stay in movie legend. Forever.
We use that all the time. I got a couple of buddies that I play with. We got a regular crew that plays on a Sunday afternoon, and whenever somebody misses a putt, that's the number one thing. It's like the price is wrong, bitch. Like it's so it gets used all the time. So then so as I said, take it easy on Nate. He's done.
I'm gonna give Nate. Let me give Nate props on something. Let me give Nate props on something first. He dissected this movie. Like he paid a very close attention. Like he threw out some stuff I never caught. So he did good there.
I took notes while I was watching the movie.
Yeah. And unlike Kyle, he actually watched the whole movie in one sitting.
Yeah. It was so bad. God,
when you said you split it up, I was like, "What are you doing?" But then
I couldn't take it.
You got kids like I got. You couldn't take it. Number two, you had daddy duties you had to do. So I get it.
Right.
My number one thing. So I wrote down Kyle has Caddyshack. Number one bullet point. What an awful take, because you said it was terrible. Like to start off with. Oh man, and then. What shocked me is like I thought that you would like it, and it shocked me that Nate liked Caddyshack because he threw out in there that he was 26 years of age. Like he's supposed to more likely like Happy Gilmore instead of liking Caddyshack. But he liked Caddyshack and you didn't. So
kind of shocking.
And
role reversal.
The one-liners and how the big hitter, the llama, you didn't take anything away from that.
He butchered
that's like
that
the number.
I'm not gonna lie. I
mean, yeah, you did. You did butcher that when you were trying to retake the.
Just since we're piling on Kyle, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump on the bat. Just get it all out now. Kyle, I love you. But yeah, that was.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You messed up the whole scene.
Maybe you weren't even watching it like all the way.
Which part? What part are you talking about? What are you talking
when
about?
He received total consciousness on his deathbed.
The llama was going to stiff me.
Yeah.
Say, hey, llama, I love something, for the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says, on your deathbed, you should receive total Well, he told you, he said, Gunga, Galuga, Galuga, Luga.
Gunga.
That was a good part. Yeah. That was
I might
good.
add that to my next tattoo collection.
Which means on your deathbed, you should receive total consciousness. So I got that going for me.
So I got that going for me. All right.
Yeah.
It wasn't memorable.
And then,
it wasn't memorable. What can I say? It wasn't.
Well, then when he was hitting the daisy, Cinderella story from the Masters. He's got 215 yards. He's got about a pitching wedge.
Yeah. He's
got
like 240 8 iron. Yeah. Pay attention. It's awesome. He's
he's got 375 yards. He's got about a 4 iron. Yeah. That was good. That part was good. Wild. That part was good. Oh, it's in the
thing. I say everybody's used that, and and then the other line where you got the Scottish guy that's the head groundskeeper, and he can't say golfers. He calls them gophers.
Gophers.
He says, "Excuse me, sir, but if we kill all the gophers, they're going to throw me under the jail and throw it a key."
Yeah, exactly. That was good too. I forgot about that part.
I mean, great one. And the whole, I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for quite some time now. Like that didn't ring a bell with you.
I said
rain,
that. That was a good part. That was good. And it was the preacher, wasn't it? It was the preacher that, was trying to defy it all. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
That was trying to ask God to smite him while he was on the course, and it worked because he did. So, and then I find out, of course, you said over text, this was before we started Dad Bod Golf Pod. You're 0 for 2. Lacey Underall has come to AU Club, and Jordan Spieth has come to AU Club, and we've missed out on both.
It's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Now, Lacey came
years ago.
Yeah, Lacey came way before we started, so I get a pass for that one. Jordan Spieth, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. You can't let that happen.
I'm just curious. I haven't Googled her. I wonder how Lacey's aged.
Not well.
It's pretty rough.
Danny hadn't aged well. Danny's been on these tours and
riding it out.
He has not aged.
Just maxing it out.
He hasn't aged well at all. Yeah. So
well, they got to be
anyway.
Like
those are my. Oh golly! I mean that was in this. Was it in the late 70s, early 80s that movie was made? I mean, 82 at the latest, probably. So, they got to be in their 70s easily. So, but no, you guys, I guess y'all it's your taste in movies because y'all don't appreciate good golf movies.
Well, hey, I like Happy Gilmore.
I mean, I don't appreciate Happy Gilmore, and I'll admit that. But I mean, Caddyshack is big for me. I just want there to be a good golf movie, like a golf movie that's the IMDb on Happy Gilmore was 7, IMDb on Caddyshack was 7.3. I want like an 8.7, like Inception, like Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, just blow it out of the water golf movie. And then there was not one that existed.
Could Tin Cup do that if they hadn't done the ridiculousness on 18 of backing up 3 woods into the water?
Went from like an 8.2 to like a 6.7. Yeah. But
we got to get that Tiger Woods by.
All right. So there's.
If you let Shooter McGavin win that match, that movie's way better. Because you think the entire time you're like, Adam Sandler's gonna win this.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. That may work.
Or if he lips out,
becomes like marries his grandmother. That would be awesome.
It was stupid enough as it was. We might as well go that far, right?
Yeah, but then you couldn't have Abraham Lincoln, the alligator, and Chubbs in the dream in the wind in the cloud at the end. You had to have that. That tied the whole movie
in
together.
Somewhere else.
I did find that hilarious that Nate said, "What in the world's going on with Abe Lincoln?" And I was like, "That's an Adam Sandler movie. Like, it doesn't make sense. Don't try to make sense of it. Just accept it and move on. Like, he's gonna do something stupid every single time."
Absolutely.
Literally, like Kyle said, they were probably all sitting around. They were probably high on something, and they thought, let's put Abe Lincoln's ghost up there with them.
Yeah,
and
I said that first, and Kyle repeated it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was Nate. Nate initially said that. That's true. So
all right, so now we move on to the Shanks. Now that I've ripped at both of you for
now that you've
having terrible taste in movies.
Yeah, you've destroyed us. So we're going to talk about the S word in golf because they got on me.
Also, thanks for throwing out the phone number at the end of the pod too.
Yeah, I didn't have it in front of me. I didn't even try. That's your job. That's your job as the phone number.
That's the ongoing joke. We never know the phone number.
Yeah. So
Nate, it's your job to call out the phone number at the end of the pod today.
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah. We're going to mute that. Just mute yourself and just say things, and then we'll just pretend like you've got it right. No, but we wanted to talk about the dirtiest S word in golf, and mostly because I experienced them this past week, and that's the Shanks. And how helpless it feels. Our worst experience, our worst experience with it, how we got over it, or was it a friend that we saw had it, stuff like that, and just kind of like go around the horn and talk about the dirtiest word in golf that you can't even mention on the golf course. We can say it now because we're away. When you get on the golf course, you just have to like sign language it or something. You just have to. You can't even think about saying it.
It's not that you can't say it. You can't even look at the person doing it.
No. The guys that watch a shank in a group get as upset as the guy who shanks it because now it is everybody's. Yeah. I'd say we're tempting fate right now just talking about it. Like, I don't really feel good about this.
Right now.
I might think about it over my next 70-yard, little handsy feel shot, but I'm a inside 100 wintertime shank. Like, I'm so steep on the ball.
Yeah.
And the ground gets so soft, and I'm so scared to hit it fat. So I'm like, I'm just going to kind of scoop this. And then in comes the shanks. That is my, like, October, November. I'm like, oh no. On the range, just dumping a bucket of water on the range and trying to learn how to hit through that wet gunk that comes with winter golf.
That's great.
Kyle, great. What was your issue?
So it started Thursday. Like, we start off, I hit a great drive down the middle. It's par 5. I got green light right in the middle of the, just off the fairway, but like prime spot. Ball's kind of teed up a little bit. I'm like, oh baby, we're getting home in 2. And I just take like my just natural little swing, and it's hard to shank a 4-iron. Hey, the hossel's not that really in play with a 4-iron. And I shanked it, and I was just happy that it stayed in play, sort of. And I kick it back out, and I was like, okay, let's just regroup here. Now I've got, I'm laying, I guess 1, 2, 3. I'm laying 4 or hitting 4. I got a little wedge in my hand, and I'll be damned if I didn't it was worse than the first one. Worse than the first one. I mean, 45 degrees or 90 degrees, whatever you want to call it, whatever is literally straight in front of you. I mean, it was rocket shank. And I was like, oh my God, what is happening? So, I battled, but then it happened. Like I said, it happened on a par 3 where I just shanked it off the whole course. It happened. I had I was actually hitting the ball pretty good off the tee box, really good off the tee box. And I would get to the second shot, and I had like, you have no idea what's about to happen. I'm like, I was literally so far off the toe. I had it so far on the toe, like I almost wasn't even addressing the ball. I was trying to, and I would still just the most god awful sound in the whole world. And Nate is just trying to like not take that in and absorb that. He's trying so hard to talk me out of it. I'll give him credit. He was trying to talk him off me, but once they got on me, I couldn't get them off. So then the very next day, I'm like, I'm going to go to the range. I'm going to figure this out. So our bags of balls, there's like what, Nate, 70 balls in it. So 140 balls. No, they're much bigger than that, I thought. Regardless.
Well, when I was a cart guy, you can count, there's 42. Yeah.
Okay. Well, 42, whatever. So 84 balls. And out of 84 balls, I shanked 78 of them. And I think the only reason I don't think the only reason I didn't shank the other ones is because I was like, I just got to tee up my driver and hit it for psychological reasons. Like, just so I feel, hold up. It's a drag race outside. Anyway, so I got to tee up my driver just so I can see a ball fly straight, or not even straight, but just like out there and not off to the right. Broke another club out of rage. I rage broke my 5-iron. So 5-iron is in the shop right now. 100% just rage broke it. I was like, I can't believe you can't shank a 5-iron. I was shanking everything. So I went home and I was like beside myself. I'm like, this is, I'd rather have COVID right now, to be honest. I've had COVID. I was like, I'd rather have that right now than this. This is awful. But I text both of y'all. I went out Saturday. I went home and I started Googling or watching YouTube videos of how not to shank a ball, which is pathetic. That is
I know you're like 10 cups sitting in his camper. You got the whole thing.
All the stuff on my eyes
from your visor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is a sad place to be when you're searching YouTube videos of how not to shank the ball. I was there, bro. I was there. It was bad. And, but I was like, I watched a Butch Harmon video and he was like, there was two kinds of shanks. Okay. So there's a shank that you hit off of the hosel because the ball's here, you're extending or whatever, and the ball's hitting here. And then there's a shank where you're closing your club too fast. You're like over rotating. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you got to figure out which one you're doing. So I went back and luckily Nate and I had videoed the whole round. So I thought that I was over rotating. So I was trying to like really open my club face so I wouldn't shut it too fast. And I went back and watched the video and I was like, holy cow, I'm going like a foot forward towards the ball. Like I'm getting so close to the ball on the downswing. So I was extending out, hitting it right here. And I was like, I think I can fix that. So I did the old head cover drill. You put the head cover right there by the ball and you try to hit and don't hit the head cover, fix it in like 3 swings. I text Nate the Shawshank Redemption meme where he's like, I'm free. He had just crawled through the pipes. I was like, I got him off of me. That's a big day. Big day. That's a good feeling.
I've never had them that bad. Knock on wood.
Surprise.
But now
everybody knock on wood for Ben.
Yeah. Everybody knock on wood.
I mean, I've had them, but I'm kind of like Nate. It's got nothing. It's not like what you had with the 5-iron and the 4-iron. Like it's going to be a wedge. It's going to be like a tight lie. And I'm trying to do something stupid or trying to pinch it too close or trying to get too much juice on it or something. And there's 2 things going to happen. I'm either going to shank it or I'm going to hit about a foot behind it and catch it fat. And just so now you were saying, tell a story. We were off on a golf resort trip and one of my buddies got the shanks.
Right.
He's going to remain nameless because he listens to the pod. So I'm not going to call him out because he knows it. We got 3 holes in. He fine off, like you were talking about, fine off the tee. But as soon as he put an iron in his hand, it was an automatic shank. 3 holes in, Ooh. He put his irons in the bag and never got an iron out the other 15 holes that we played. He hit his hybrid. He hit his he would hit his wedge out of a bunker if he got in a bunker because he knew he was going to be hitting behind it. He wasn't worried about shanking it. But he played the rest of the round with a hybrid. He still shot like in the low 90s without ever hitting an iron after the first 3 holes.
That's
Put that down for a YouTube idea.
Play and hybrids only. I like it.
And we played, that was one of the days we played 36. So I didn't play in his group the next time, but he played the same way. They said the next 18 holes where he just
he had to eat it for 36. That's awful.
Yes.
That sucks.
He ate it for 36 holes on a resort trip that here we are paying to be down there. So I felt so bad for him. And they come out every now and then. It's just his swing. And I think that he's got what Harmon was talking. I think because he hits the ball really high. He gets his wrist through the ball a lot. And so he puts the ball way up. So I think he comes through too fast. And I think like what you're saying, Butch said, I think he's just closing his club face and it's just, he's rocking it off from there. But I mean, it's an ongoing joke. Like if he's behind us, like my back left, my cart buddy will say, we probably need to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Got to get our eyeballs on him, get eyes on him.
And that's embarrassing if you hit the reverse button because he knows that's what you're backing up for.
Oh,
so
and then it jumps back on and yeah.
So we've learned to quietly just get out of the cart and kind of walk back a little bit.
That's fast. That is awesome.
Just to keep because even though we're probably betting against him or we got money on it, I don't want to be the cause of his demise. I don't want to get this, like that. That's at the point where you don't trash talk anybody anymore. Like, because you don't want it happening to you. I don't want to pick up that habit. So I'm not going to, if you're shanking the ball, I'm going to be like, great shot. Or I'm not going to say anything stupid like that. I'm just going to lower my head and be like, he's got to figure it out, man. I'm not giving any advice. I am
out.
Yeah. There are some things you have to face alone. Shanks is one of them.
See, and that's one of the things is most times, Kyle, did you do this with Nate? Like, my buddy, he would turn around and he would say, guys, what am I doing? I'm like, bro, I am not touching that. I am not trying to correct anybody's swing right now while all this is going on.
No, at the end of it, I was kind of hoping for another one for content. I was hoping for more at the end of it. It was so bad.
Wow.
Nate, I told your story.
Well, congratulations on curing that, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Nate, I told that story about you. It wasn't you, but I told a story several shows back where we were doing the shootout, and it was like 18 dudes, and you kick out 2 every hole. Everybody's playing the hole at the same time. The second hole we played was a par 3, and you were next. You were on deck, and the first dude, Shanks, won a county over, and you had to go right after it. That was the funniest thing. What's going through your head there?
He's a scratch golfer. Like, that's not the guy that you're expecting to. I mean, he's probably on paper the top 2 guys in the entire field that day, like just based on handicap. And I mean, it shocked him. Like, he looked down and looked back up, and looked down, looked around, just utter shock. Like, it wasn't like a 12, 15 handicapper shank one be like, oh man, it happened again. Like, it's like he had never hit that shot before. So I get up there, tee it up, hit it. I see that it's going in some direction towards the green, and it's got enough distance to clear the water. And I ran off the tee box. Like,
get away from more. That was just imagine. So we had started off with 18. Now we got 16. So 15 dudes just sat there and watched this dude shank one 150 yards in the wrong direction. Like, one of the worst shanks I've ever seen in my life. And around golf.
You had told this story before, and so I remembered it.
Yeah.
And so when we talked about content, we were going to talk about the shanks. I'm like just scrolling through Twitter and Instagram and that kind of thing, and some of the golf accounts. There was a Snapchat that was put up today that over the weekend, it made me think of this story because there were about 30 people on the tee. It was a $30,000 Calcutta pot. Ooh. And the first guy to tee off, y'all, it didn't go 6 yards. It went dead right. Like,
that hurts. Out
of the hole, right? 30,000 in the pot. He's out of the hole on the first shot. And his buddies didn't hold back. They were back there, like the people that were just watching, not the people that were playing in it, but the people that were they're rolling in the grass, like laughing at him. Like, I felt so bad for him. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't take the club and beat the hell out of somebody. I really am.
That's amazing.
Like the first guy I would have seen laughing at a $30,000 Calcutta pot. Like, he and I would have squared up right there.
Yep.
That would have been an issue.
So the shanks are no fun, and we've seen them. Everybody's done it. I experienced it this week. I feel accomplished that I got them off of me. One thing that I love to have on me. Love to have on me. Let me finish this. Is this?
I know where you're going with this.
The great stuff that we have with our partners at Swannies.co. All the fashion that you can dream of on the golf course. Great polos, awesome hats. One of the best snapback hats I've ever had is the Delta Snapback Waterproof. I sweat. You can tell right now I'm sweating. I'm outside. I run hot. Doesn't show water, doesn't show stains. It's awesome. Check them out, Swannies.co. Coupon code Dad Bod, Golf Pod -25. Take 25% off your next order. So load up the cart and let's do it. The next thing we want to talk about is there was a tournament this weekend, the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Spent a few minutes on it. It was there there was no lack of drama. There was stuff going on. It seemed like every single day ended in a playoff. I talked to Nate. It's like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, why doesn't every tournament end in a playoff? All these dudes are so good, and now we've had we've had so many playoffs this past. Had playoff for bronze in the Olympics, and then we had a three-way playoff. It ended in fireworks. So, what was y'all's biggest takeaway? What storyline kind of jumped out at you that you love the most? Nate, you can start it off.
I would say there's two like issues that got exposed this weekend. Slow play, which is a long time issue that the tours, I think, feel like finally starting to address. And the other issue is we never had somebody that's been so hated and picked on and bullied. Actually, I don't like saying bullied because they're literally just yelling a name at them. But like the tour's got to address this somehow.
Yeah,
I don't know. Bryson brings this upon himself. He lets it bother him. Brooks is the guy you shouldn't let bother you. Like Brooks doesn't care about Bryson. Like he doesn't care about the feud. He barely cares about golf, it seems like. So I'd say this was a kind of a like if I was on the board at FedEx like for this tournament, like this morning you're not feeling super good. Like this tournament was
you let it get out of hand.
I feel like.
Here's my thing. It's not funny
and then as far
anymore.
as the golf goes, no.
It's not even cool
as far
anymore.
as the golf goes.
It's the mashed potatoes guy. It's the Baba Booey guy. Like that's funny. The first tournament that they do that, and after you see it 4 or 5 tournaments in a row, it's like shut that guy up. Like that's enough.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the golf goes, English turned at 20 under. So he made the turn at 20 under on Sunday, and 16 under got into the playoff. Like that is just
that's crazy.
That is a wild stat. So slow play. There's no excuse for that. Like I hate slow play. I think it's a huge issue in golf. I think it's a huge issue on the course. It's your local municipal course all the way up to the tour. So I just have no sympathy for guys who get put on the clock. They give them so much room before they put them on the clock.
I think they should.
Guy actually got put on the clock when he guided for him. When I went out and watched when Kyle was guiding on tour back in the day. Yeah, and I mean, to get an entire hole behind a group that's 3 guys walking in front of you, it's inexcusable.
And it sucks for the dude that's not playing.
Those are my.
It sucks for the dude that's not playing.
Both of them were playing slow, and I rewatched Harris's comments today, and apparently on 5, the group in front of them got put on the clock first. Yeah. And so the official for them warned them, said, you guys are probably going to be next. I don't know that the official should have said that. I don't think, like, if you're going to give a warning, don't give a warning of a warning. Don't warn them twice. Don't warn them that you're about to warn them. Like, if you're going to do that, just go ahead and say you're on the clock and be done with it and walk off and let it go. Number 2, when it comes to being on the clock, because I hate slow play too. I mean, I'm the type of guy, I don't take any practice swings. Like I'm getting up there and hitting. I'm not a slow play guy. I don't like slow play either. But the fact that English and DeChambeau got put on the clock after a hole where they needed a ruling, so you got to wait on the official to get out there to give the ruling, and they both put it in the water, so they had to take drops. Yes. So that also took extra time. Like, I don't know that you should penalize them. I mean, I understand that you got a clock that you got to keep, but I don't think you should penalize them because they're hitting it all over the golf course and they're having to go find it. Like, I don't like the slow play. Like you and I have talked about this, Kyle, where Bryson doesn't have a club pull or he doesn't have his yardage pulled when he's already in front of the guy. So the other guy's going to be hitting first. And Bryson waits till the other guy hits, till the ball lands, he sees where it is, and then he starts going through his club selection and his yardage. That's slow play. I don't like that. Yeah. But when you hit a ball, questionable OB, and you're waiting on a ruling, and then you got to wait on where they tell you to drop, and then you hit it in the water, and then you got to go to the drop area. I don't know that you should be penalized for that. You are being penalized for that. You just took a triple. Like they just added 3 strokes to your score. So that I think the officials got a little overzealous, but it definitely got in Harris English's head because you could hear him on hot mics saying, "I'm rushing and I'm feeling pressed." And I don't know why that he's got to get over that mental thing, because when they put you on the clock, they don't sit there and constantly remind you. They just tell you between holes, either you're still on the clock or now you're off the clock. They don't, after you hit, they don't go, don't forget you're on the clock. Like, they don't constantly remind you. So when he said it got in his head, I'm like, well, man, you're a mental midget. Like, you can't let that get in your head. It's so, one of my big takeaways from the weekend was Kyle's man, Siwoo Kim, with his 13 on the par 3.
13 on a par 3. Wow.
Siwoo.
Siwoo.
Yeah.
Drop it again.
And the best part about that is Siwoo and Kevin Na flew together, and Kevin Na is the one that had the 16 on the par 4 a few years ago.
I saw
and
that
everybody's
tweet.
trying to compare the two. I don't compare the two because Kevin Na got in the woods and started just screwing around and hitting trees and everything else. Siwoo had a perfect lie every single time and still carded
Drop
13.
It was 5 times.
Drop 5.
Yeah, 5 times.
Yes. And
how many balls?
He kept going at that pin.
Oh, he's trying to hold
over
it.
on the right side.
He's trying to hold
and
it.
I'm sitting there going, if I'm his caddy, I'm like, here's a wedge, stick it in the middle of the green. For God's sakes, let's stop, please. We're running out of balls.
He was trying to make
like,
the greatest quad of all time.
Yeah.
That's what is that even called? What is a 13? That's 10 over. What do you don't even call that?
I think you just
at that point he just goes by Roman numerals. He just puts an X in the box.
Yeah.
Like that's like he doesn't when he turns it in.
plus 10 on that hole.
Yeah.
I thought it was double par max. It's not double par max.
That would have been that would have been so funny if he would have come off the par 3 and on a hot mic going to the next tee would have said something like, isn't it like double bogey max? Isn't that all I can take on that hole? Or isn't it like you said, double par max? Isn't that all I can take?
Right.
Like you got to take it with a grain of salt. But isn't that the same hole that got Harris too? Didn't he put 2 in the water there or 1 in the water there?
He put 1 in the
He
water.
took a double.
Yeah,
he took a double on that hole.
Hey, props to Siwoo. Actually birdied the next hole. I was looking at that.
I know. He put it completely behind.
Bounce back. That's a bounce back right there. A bounce back.
I mean,
bounce
it didn't really
birdie.
put a dent in it didn't put a dent in the score. It was like carding a 12 instead of a 13 on the hole before. But
he was 9 over on those holes combined.
Yeah.
10 over and 1 under.
With a birdie.
So
That's awesome.
9 over with the birdie. So there, that was my big takeaway because I put it out on the Dad Bod Instagram where I was like, I hope your day's going better than Siwoo's, and it just we've been
great.
there. We've been, we're at the point where we're not going to sit there and put that many balls in the water. If I put 2 or 3 in the water, I'm looking at you. Say, I'm done. I'm sitting in the cart. You guys finish. I'm done.
Where's cart girl?
Yeah, and
I'm out of here.
The problem is they don't have that option. And
gotta finish.
That's why your caddy, man. I mean, after he put 3 in the water, that's when you look at him and go, "Why are you still going at the pin? Like, what are you doing?"
Let's hit this over that. Let's hit it dry.
How many balls do these guys carry in their bag? I mean, I know they're not like. I'm sure he wasn't close to running out, but like you give a couple balls away to some kids, and then you dunk 5 of them. Like all of a sudden, you may have 3 balls left in your bag, and then a lost tee ball is something.
Yeah, because
serious.
he's on the back now. So if he's discarded 3 or 4 balls, they don't usually take more than like 9.
Getting thin.
They don't ever
Getting
take like a full
thin.
dozen like we do. Yeah.
Nah, Jonathan, the guy I caddy for, he only carried 6. So like, it's not like they're.
I guess if you lose 6 balls, then like you might as well trump on home anyway. But
yes,
exactly.
Time to WD.
And you're out of there. So they actually did have
I
a
get
win.
that if it's one of the first 2 days, I get the WD, but you still gonna get money. You can't WD on the last 2 days. Like you gotta make
finish.
Like at that point, you got to be like, okay, I'm just wedging
Trying to get
it
a
in
check
from here on out. Yeah, I'm just getting my check.
So they actually did have a winner to the tournament. After all this, hackery all over the place, they did have a winner. And it was none of the 2 leaders going into it, which was wild. 3-man playoff. Abraham Answer wins, I believe, his first tournament on the PGA Tour, which just kind of blew my mind because I feel like he's
PGA
always
Tour tournament win.
I feel like he's always, there. He's just a steady dude. The most awful lip out to extend the playoff from Sam Burns. Like, I think it went in and touched the plastic and came out. It was awful, but was a fun playoff. Hideki had a chance in the first hole. He lipped out the win. They go to the second playoff, and then Answer makes his putt, and Sam lips out, and that was it. That was all she wrote. It was good. It was a fun playoff, though.
Yeah, Answer hits it to 5 feet. Burns hits it to 4.5 feet.
Yeah,
right
Burns was
inside of him. Gets the line, gets the read. I mean, Answer's ball is 6 inches basically directly behind Sam Burns. Sam misses on the low side, misses on the Dad Bod side.
The Dad Bod side.
And as you might see in the highlight video, missed it on the Kyle side.
The Kyle side.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
If you guys haven't seen, I was gonna say there we got a little something special coming out for the listeners a little bit later on. With Kyle's great display of putting. And how'd that go today, by the way? Did you practice any?
Oh yeah, we had tryouts. We grinded out. I talked down to a few of the putters and try to get them motivated. I think
you didn't break any of the ones I let you borrow, did you? You didn't break any, did you?
I owe you something for one of them, possibly. Possibly took some. May have a few abrasions. What's that?
Speaking of putters, Harris English got a lot of heat because his putter looks like his putter grip looked like it came out of like 2007. It is worn out. I don't know what he might be able to do about that.
You know what he needs?
A watch.
No, he needs to check out Sweetrollzgolf.com and get him with a Z, Sweetrollzgolf with a Z.com. Get him a putter grip. Hey, he can save 20%. He may not need it, but he can save it if he wants to. Dad Bod 20. Take 20% off that order. Get that grip coming. Look fresh, Hudson. Don't be out there struggling with that paint chipping off and the grip wearing off, looking like a Sunday hacker. Like, come on, man. You're in PGA. You've made like $80 million this year. Like, just get you a good putter grip. Let's go.
I must say my ulterior motives for letting you borrow my putters was I was hoping you'd regrip both of them with Sweetrollz grip, dude, before you returned them.
The Scotty's grip was great. The TaylorMade, it was like confetti was coming off of the grip. It was like
it's old.
It was flaking. It was like confetti. I was like, it was like a victory every time I putted it, except it didn't go in.
That was one of the pre-spider putters. It's the TaylorMade Ghost. I let Kyle, and it was like one of the first putters they came out with. It has like the softest face. It feels like you're putting every ball as a balata ball. Like, I will say that. But it is definitely different looking, and it's been a while since I've used that one. But he asked for center shaft putters, and that was the only one I had in the bag besides
Kyle,
Scotty.
When I saw your post about you doing tryouts today, like, I just imagine you like at the end, like have them all lined up, like by the putting green, by the building, which like a clipboard, and be like, all right, if you hear your name called, Scotty and Spider, the rest of you, thank you for coming out.
Thanks for coming.
That's what I was imagining you
We'll catch you next year. Exactly. That's basically what happened. I gave them all 10. I gave them all 10 shots at it. Yeah. I gave them all 10 shots at it. I made cuts and we moved on. It was that simple.
Kind of like in Happy Gilmore with the tryouts.
Yes,
exactly.
Hey, yo, what about my name?
Yeah, exactly like that. Hey, good reference there, Nate. But hey,
exactly.
Maybe still sucks.
Exactly. Well,
yeah.
Touche. Guys, this is awesome.
In your opinion.
Yeah. This was awesome. The three amigos chopping it up together finally. Ben's getting back healthy. We got Nate in the mix now. We got visuals, like we can see us. We got shirts on, which is awesome too. So y'all continue to follow us on social media. Check us out Airport Motors. Hey Nate, where can they find you?
Airport Motors. We got t-shirts included with every purchase. You can't just get one by coming in. You do have to purchase a car, but trust me, the t-shirt alone is worth it. Come check us out. Trucks, SUV, room for golf clubs, and every vehicle on the lot.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube now, Dad Bod Golf Pod. You can email us at dadbodgolfpod@gmail.com. You can leave us voicemails. And
Nate, give us
promise.
that number.
8675309. Just kidding. The real number will be posted in the description below.
I pulled it, but this is an inside joke though. We never know it. I have to write it down. This is sad because they give you a ton of numbers to choose from, and I got to personally pick the number, and I still can't remember the damn thing. 334-521-8307. That's 334-521-8307. You can leave us a message. You can even text that number. We'll read your text out over the air if you want us to respond. Be careful. If you leave your name, you will get called out. We've done it before. So if you want it to be anonymous, you better say, I don't want my name mentioned, or this is Joe Schmo or something like that, because we're gonna talk about you. And probably a good light, unless you ask a stupid question. And just remember, there are no stupid questions. There are only stupid people that ask questions.
Absolutely. Hey, we're running a little bit out of time. We got to wind it down. Rate, subscribe, review on the iPod app. We got a good review. We'll read it next time. It's really funny. But y'all check us out, help our sponsors out. And that's it. Catch us next time.
Dad Bod Golf Pod.
Always stroking.